If you want to use domesticated sourdough, one you can do yourself quite easily. Just take that same cup of flour, cup of water, and then just add a teaspoon of yeast and let it sit overnight. And the next morning you have sourdough. It's a domesticated sourdough. Still works the same, it's still sours. You just got to keep it in a warm spot and keep it covered so that it can it kind of stews and ferments in and of itself. Works just fine. Yes.
When you get ready to, you got your sourdough in your container. Do you pour the water off before you mix it in the second batch? Sometimes no. You get a liquid on top of it.
No, you want that liquid. You want that liquid in there. You want to just stir it in. Yeah.
Just stir it in. Okay.
Yeah, that liquid is good. You keep the liquid, definitely.
Did you say tablespoon or teaspoon?
Teaspoon. If you have a tablespoon, you're going to make it turn into a volcano. In fact, one time we were up at our lodge up in Idaho, me and my kids, and I was doing some sourdough pancakes in the morning, and I sent them over by the fireplace, and we're sitting there watching TV, and my son's like, Dad, your stuff. And I look, and the plate is actually bubbling off the top of the lid, and it's like all over the. Oh,
gross.
Mess. I was like, nice. So let's take a look at our potatoes. Oh yeah, they're doing quite well.
Did they release after a while?
Did they what?
Release, in other words, don't stick. You don't stir them because
they'll just turn to mash. Yeah. But no, I don't really do anything. I just serve it from here. So, and yeah, they separate out from each other a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put all those other charcoals up on top of here, spread them out a little bit. Take this asparagus. Oh,
the lid's not on all the way. Yeah.
I was like, why is this not working? There we go. All right. How long are we on the timer?
We got 5 minutes left.
5 minutes? Okay, cool.
So once you have the starter, how do you make the crust?
Okay, so now that you've got the starter, all you want in a good pizza crust is flour, the starter, or yeast. And I always add yeast even if I do have a sourdough starter. You always add yeast. So say for instance what I do, if I was making it, I'd use 1 cup of sourdough starter. And then I'd do a half a cup of water. And then I'd use 2 teaspoons of yeast, 2 teaspoons of salt, a tablespoon of olive oil, and flour until it's done. There's not really an equation on the flour. You just mix it in until it's no longer sticky on your hands. And you'd want to knead it really good. Just knead it until it's very elastic. Once it's elastic, you can just let it sit and rise. What I'd like to do is break it off into my individual pizza chunks. So if I'm doing personal pizzas, I'm doing a few ounces each. And then what I'm going to do is just set those onto a greased cookie sheet, cover it with visqueen plastic, and just leave it for a couple hours until I'm ready to make them. Then you just take those and you stretch them out. If you want to make scones, throw it in fry oil, make scones. If you don't make pizza, just stretch them out, put on your stuff, and make pizza. Pretty simple. Really easy to do. Really, really easy. So, and very tasty. Yes?
What's your take on volcano cookers?
Volcano cookers are really good for what they're made for. They're mainly for stewing, and they concentrate that heat. It's almost like that charcoal basket down there. You know, concentrates heat. I don't bake in them at all, ever. They're a little too intense because they're just like a volcano. They focus that heat so well. If you're making like a soup or a chili or something like that, they're awesome. You know, or
distribute the heat better than...
No. But it will do if you're doing like a braised meat. It works great. So say you got a pot roast, you know, a blade roast of a beef. Throw in your onions and your carrots in there, and you just set that in there, a little bit of beef base, you know, and have that liquid level. And that's another thing, if you're braising meat, never have the liquid level above 1/3 the way up, because you want it to caramelize some. You take that and you set that Dutch oven in that volcano. That's the best way in the world to do that. That'll cook that thing like nobody's business. So 2 to 5 hours, you got a tender, fall apart grandma's pot roast. As long as you turn it every half an hour, it'll get that nice caramelized crust, because I remember when I was a kid, Grandma's pot roast, that gooey, dark goodness was always my favorite. You know, I was like, ooh, I want that gooey piece. You know, so yeah, it does the same thing. So the volcanoes are great for that. If you guys want to come up and taste some of this cobbler, it is ready to eat. So, oh man, that looks good.
It is a little trickier without the small
All right, I
spoon.
need to get some tongs, guys.
Okay.
They're down in the bowl.
They're in your bowl.
They're in your bowl, Matt. Down on
Oh
the floor.
boy.
That's great.
That is nice. Nice.
Sorry.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh wow.
Okay, now, tell you right now, that's done. Okay, sweet.
That's amazing.
Now we got salmon to eat.
Yum, yum, yum.
How did you tell? Because
Oh, you can just peel that. You can look at the color. If you see that white froth coming out the top, whenever you see that, you know it's done. So if you see that white froth, it's done. There's no question about it. Okay.
Oh, wait.
Okay.
Sorry. I about dropped my phone.
No, you can't take pictures.
No, just kidding. I don't care.
Have you ever needed to reseason your Dutch ovens?
All the time.